and I just want to share my story. From an early age, I struggled with weight, and by second grade, I started growing rapidly, and by fourth grade, I was larger than every kid in my class and maybe the whole school. The teasing was unforgiving, and it carved into my self-esteem. It hollowed out my confidence, and it's hard to believe that a child could carry depression that heavy, but I did. My family gave me everything. Love, protection, support in every way, spiritual grounding, but they couldn't silence the noise in my head. And although I was always quiet, my thoughts were always loud. And by sixth grade, I was still growing upward and outward. Store-bought clothes stopped fitting, and every shopping trip became another reminder that you don't fit in, literally or figuratively. But then one day, everything changed. My mother was a master seamstress, and we were shopping for school clothes one day when I spotted this expensive vest in the mall, and I loved it instantly. And she looked at it and she said, I can make this. And it was like 1,000 LED lights just turned on in my mind. And for the first time, I saw a way to take control of how I presented myself to the world. And from that point, she started making clothes for me. Then she started teaching me how to sew, and I fell in love with the craft and the art. And she taught me how to make everything: shirts, jerseys, denim pants, denim jackets, hoodies. I sewed for other people and made skirts and dresses for friends that I knew. And this newfound love became my way to build myself up. And I call them my layers. Layers of new clothing gave me strength, it gave me confidence. Jewelry gave me swagger. And each piece became a way to enhance, mask, and deflect. And eventually, the teasing stopped. Now, mainly because I learned to dismantle bullies aggressively and efficiently. And I won't elaborate on that, but you can use your imagination with that. But still, the damage was done. And so my size, in a way, became my power. It became my identity. And my style became my aura. And then I decided that I wanted to be this fashion designer. And then I started this clothing line called 40 Storm. And it did pretty well for someone who knew nothing about operating a clothing business and for someone that young. And people often ask me how I come up with that name or how it relates to House of Storm. Now, I was a unorthodox kid with a lively imagination. I still am. And I used to give myself nicknames all the time. And one day, around the fourth grade, I said that my new nickname was going to be 40, spelled Phortii. And it just stuck. And to this day, my hometown and a lot of my friends know me as 40. I was infatuated with ninjas. I thought I was a ninja for a long time. And so I borrowed Storm I'm pretty sure I got it from G.I. Joe. And one day I blended the two together and I said 40 Storm. So my clothing line was something that I was extremely passionate about, and I tried my best to make it successful. And my family helped me all they could. Back then, when we started, there was no internet, there was no social media. So you can imagine how hard it was to bring it to fruition. Later in life, I got married and I was still overweight, still dealing with depression, still carrying the same self-esteem issues. And I was working jobs that I despised, just trying to pay the bills, which only made things worse. You take internal issues and you mix them with external issues, and then you have a dangerous combination. Now, I was still into clothing and sewing while pursuing other goals, but I was exhausted. I was depressed. I felt defeated, and I needed change. And somewhere beneath it all, a voice said, enough. And I knew what I needed to do. I needed to get healthy, for one, and I needed to change my career path. I needed to change my life. So through a series of life events and mindset resets, I was able to shed the weight. I had a goal of losing 100 pounds. I lost about 80 of those pounds. And I got into real estate. I started with general brokerage and then real estate investing with flipping houses. And through this new lens of life, I felt unstoppable. And as a spinoff of 40 Storm, I created Forfeit. Now, forfeit is pronounced two ways. It's a play of words. So there's forfeit, which means to forfeit an unhealthy lifestyle, and also forfeit, to strive to become fit. So when I created that, that's what it meant. So this is another brainchild of my passion for creativity, for art, clothing, and self-improvement and growth. And so 40 Storm created Forfeit, a tribute to mindset, overcoming challenges, to grow. Forfeit was born from the same creative fire as 40 Storm, but this time it wasn't about clothing. It was about restoration from the inside out. Forfeit from 40 Storm evolved to House of Storm. So this is a way that I can make a living and still be creative and express my artistry through renovating and designing houses. And that journey has been nothing short of every emotion you can think of. It's been exhilarating. It's been brutal. humbling, transformative, exciting, stressful at times. And there's been ups, there's been downs and hard lessons to learn, but it was definitely life-changing in a way that I never would have imagined. And it's not nearly perfect, but I've learned so much that has definitely helped me through life. 40 Storm, I made t-shirts and I made a lot of custom clothing for people, from denim suits to dresses to skirts, all kind of things. We even did wedding dresses. In fact, I made my wife's wedding dress and I made my sister-in-law's bridesmaid dress. I made my suit for the wedding, neckties, all of that. But 40 Storm started from a place of despair, a place of frustration, because I was just too big to fit into regular clothing, at least what I wanted to wear. And clothing was much different then. They only catered to normal sizes. But it was also coupled with hope, with creativity, and it saved me in a lot of ways. It was an external restoration, layers that I piled on to try to build myself up. And I know a lot of people can relate to this. House of Storm also started from a place of despair and frustration in life. And renovating houses helped to build my mental strength. It helped me to build my capacity for solving problems. Because we take neglected and broken houses and we break them down so we can build them back up. And to accomplish this, we have to restore them internally first, and then we restore them externally. And in many ways, renovating houses kind of mirrors the journey of life. 40 Storm was my baby. House of Storm is my baby. Forfeit is my baby, but it's also my mindset. It is near and dear to my heart. It's ongoing mental restoration, and the byproduct is an improved outer restoration. And this is the philosophy. Forfeit, pronounce forfeit and forfeit. So forfeit negativity, to release toxic thoughts, patterns, and inner stories, to forfeit the self-doubt, the fear, and the emotional weight that's been holding you back, to let go of environments, energy, and habits that no longer serve you. And then there's forfeit, Forfit, and that's for being fit, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. For mental fitness, it means to sharpen your focus, to strengthen your discipline, to train your thoughts the way you train your body, with intention and repetition. And for physical fitness, to honor your body, to move with energy, to fuel your body with purpose, and not just for appearance, but for vitality and for living at full power. And so this is the framework that has carried me through life. Now, am I at my final destination? No, not at all. Do I have more work and improvement to do? Yes, indeed. That journey will never stop, and that's the beauty of it. But we need the right mindset to navigate the journey and the detours along the way. And that's where Forfeit comes in. I created this to build myself up, to empower and inspire others, to help build themselves and each other up. And it all started from frustration and despair and a quiet voice in my head that refused to give up. First, I rebuilt myself from the outside in with fabric, with jewelry, thread, with style. And that was, in a sense, my armor. Those were my layers, as I like to call it. But layers have to come off. But then life taught me that I had to rebuild from the inside out. House of Storm taught me that restoring homes is just like someone trying to restore themselves. You have to tear down the damage. You have to strip away what's broken and rebuild with vision and care. And that's what Forfeit is. It's restoring your mind, your habits, your identity. It's forfeiting what hold you back so you can become fit for the life that you deserve. This isn't about perfection. It's not about vanity. It's a process. It's continued growth. It's an ethos. It's a lifestyle. My story is not finished, and neither is yours. But here's what I know. You can create your own story, word by word, page by page, chapter by chapter, book by book. You can become your own inner restoration. You can change everything, one layer at a time. So welcome to the Forfeit philosophy and lifestyle. You're going to love this and you're going to cherish this. Trust me. We're going to talk to you soon.